It's Monday, February 3rd, 2025. If you would please make sure to like this video, share this video everywhere, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, I want to get right into the news today. We are watching history in the making. We are watching the fastest trade wars in history be resolved at a record pace. These were the shortest trade wars in history. I'll start with Mexico. President Claudia Sheinbaum yesterday said that she was going to retaliate, that she had plan A, plan B, and plan C ready to go. Didn't look like it worked out that way because Trump basically ate President Claudia Sheinbaum for lunch. They've agreed to put 10,000 troops at the border. There's some other things in the details, but it looks like this is going to be resolved in a record-breaking time. Have you ever seen trade wars last less than a day? You're watching it take place right now, and it's almost laughable. Trudeau bends the knee. Canada will send 10,000 troops to border. It's laughable. We heard all the tough talk from Trudeau, and now we have again one of the fastest trade wars in history coming to an end. Trudeau is a joke. He's very, very weak. Trump is eating these people up for lunch. They're not even challenging at all. These people are soft. And, I was reading some of the comments yesterday, and so many people just pro-Trudeau and Canada. And your leader in Canada who's stepping down, and many of the people in Canada do not like this guy. He is weak. He is a joke. He has sold you out. He has destroyed your economy. And thank God he caved in, because you were about ready to feel a lot of pain in Canada and in Mexico. But it's amazing how tough this guy talks and how quickly he folded, and how many people that actually support this bozo. He's a clown. And this guy has done so much damage to Canada, and he was about ready to put you in a trade war that you were going to get annihilated in, Canada. Very, very, very sad person. I hope they replace him with somebody much, much more competent and somebody that actually does something good for Canada. But Trump ate this guy for lunch. He ate this bozo up for lunch, and he folded like a cheap suit. It shocks me how people just don't really read, don't spend 10 minutes and do a little research. But this country subsidizes Canada by the number of $200 billion a year. How many people in this country are fine that we gave $200 billion to Ukraine and a lot of the money went missing? How many of you are okay with the $24 billion that went to Los Angeles homeless and nobody knows where the money is? Are you okay with a $288 billion trade deficit with China, a $70 billion trade deficit with Canada, a $130 billion deficit with Mexico? Are you okay with Social Security going broke by 2034? People want to know why they can't buy a house, why they can't buy a car, why they can't find a good job, because your jobs were sold out decades ago. They sent them to these countries. And it's amazing how many people now are living off of credit cards, yet are the first ones to say, we don't want these tariffs on these countries. This is bad. We don't want change. We don't want to stand up. We don't want America to stand up for itself. We want America to just keep being taken advantage of so we can continue to live this low lifestyle and continue to have our currency devalued, and to continue to have less purchasing power, and to continue to have to work 2 or 3 or 4 jobs. This is what people want. They don't want to feel any pain. They don't have any backbone. They don't want to fight. And they're not even physically fighting. They're afraid to even let their president stand up and fight for them because they're so scared. Yet they've lost so much already, they don't even realize it, and they're so scared to have to stand up and get into a trade war and feel some pain. If you don't do something now, you're going to have nothing tomorrow. And this president, whether you love him or hate him, understands this and is going to battle. He's standing up for this country, standing up for the American people. And I know there's going to be 5 or 6 or 10 people that don't like this. But man, I cannot believe what you just went through for the last 4 years and how much purchasing power you lost, how many jobs you've lost, how your cities have just crumbled, the amount of inflation. You can't buy a house or a car, yet you're afraid to stand behind a guy who's going to bat for this country. Yeah, trade war could be painful. Yes, prices could go up. But if we continue to allow these countries to take advantage of us, step on us, slap us in the face, throw sand in our face, and get away with it, it's going to continue to get worse. You'll never buy a house. You'll never buy a car. You'll be working 5 jobs. They're so weak. People are so weak. Shifting gears, and comment down below on any of this. But it is amazing how many people still don't understand what is going on. Oh, the trade war is going to do this. It's going to do that. Yeah, it could have got painful. And look, it's not over. All right, we're giving these countries 30 days. And we still have the trade war going on with China. So this stuff is not over, but it's amazing to see how weak people are and how people literally were crumbling like Justin Trudeau just did. Americans crumbling just like Justin Trudeau. Get a backbone, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Phoenix, Arizona, protester steals a police car. I think this was in Glendale last night. Protesters were throwing fireworks at police. They were closing down intersections because they don't like that people who don't belong here are being shipped back. Criminals, the criminal element who shouldn't be here are getting shipped back to their original countries, their countries of origin. And these people are stealing police cars. They're throwing fireworks at police. Last night, I was watching some of the video of what was taking place in Los Angeles, this protest. Again, people protesting that they don't want these criminals to be sent back to their countries of origin after they've done some very, very bad things in this country. They shouldn't be here. They've committed crimes here. They've committed crimes in their own countries, and they're walking the streets here, and people are protesting. They don't want these people to go back. So we had about 2,500 people protesting last night. They closed the 101 freeway down for 5 hours, walking down the freeway. Could you imagine? Emergency vehicles couldn't get through. You're trying to get home from wherever you're at, and the freeway's closed for 5 hours because these losers have closed the freeway down. Complete lawlessness, no respect for human life, no respect for you, no respect for the taxpayer. These people just want to fly flags and walk down the 101 freeway for 5 hours, shutting it down. You know, I remember watching those videos, being from Chicago when they had the Democratic convention there that went crazy, and there was a big riot. And Daley put the police out there. They had those big nightsticks, and man, those cops went to town with those sticks. And Daley said, if anybody picks up a bottle, throws a bottle, shoot them. And how quickly things get under control. And we as a nation have gotten so soft that, oh, we shouldn't do that. That's not how we do it today. Let me know, comment down below. Do you think the police should have those powers that they did back in the 1960s when those riots took place? Go out there, knock some heads, and get law and order back on the streets and get control of things? Because what happens when 2,500 people turns to 5,000, 5,000 turns to 10,000? Now things are completely out of control. You'll have another LA, riot. So I believe that you got to unleash the police, get those nightsticks back out there. You knock some heads, and you get people out of those roads, and you get traffic moving. That's my opinion. Maybe that's a little too tough for people. What do you think? Do you think that we should allow the police to do that? Or do we allow people to close the freeways down for 5 hours until they want to go home? I'm just sick and tired of the lawlessness, stealing police cars, shutting down freeways, throwing rocks and bottles at police, damaging civilian cars. These people are walking down the freeway. They don't care. They knock out your windows. They kick your car. That's okay, right? I say let the police carry the sticks and knock some heads and respect the law of America, the law here in California, the law in Arizona, wherever it may be. This cannot be tolerated. This is complete lawlessness, disrespect for the American people, disrespect for our laws and the police. It's got to be It has to end. It has to end. CEO of Canada's second largest company supports Trump tariff, slams Trudeau. He shamed Trudeau for not preventing the trade war. Well, we know that it's already over. Canada thrives, he says, when it works with America together. These are not crazy demands. By the way, this is the Shopify CEO, Toby Luke. 75% of Canada's trade is with the U.S. So how long do you think they were going to last? It's all tough talk. You know, as Mike Tyson used to say, it's all talk until somebody gets punched in the mouth, right? And then it all comes to an end. He said leadership is about doing what's right, not what's popular. And maybe this president is doing some things that aren't popular, but let me tell you, they're very, very right. And the majority of this country knows it. And it's just amazing that people immediately just think the world's going to come to an end. And look, last night, Dow futures down over 700. Bitcoin was down 10,000. I mean, it was an interesting, definitely an interesting night. Here's another one from the Hedge today. Trump to suspend funding to South Africa over land expropriation. He says it's a bad situation, a massive human rights violation. So basically what's going on in South Africa is they can just take your land. They can take your farm. And there's a lot of farmers there that have lost their farms and their land to the South African government. What does Trump say? No more money for you. That's a human rights violation. No more money for you. Here's another one today from the Hedge. Gold hits new record high. I will say this, watching last night as the panic and chaos was taking place in the markets, Bitcoin down 10,000, XRP down 27% as I'm watching this take place last night. The cryptos are not a safe haven asset. I think we can come to that conclusion now. It is confirmed they are not a safe haven asset, as gold stayed pretty steady, gold up today. And look, as long as the markets are doing okay, as long as there's no speed bumps, as long as markets don't get chaotic, I'm sure the cryptos will be okay and people will make some money. The minute things go awry, as soon as there's trouble, these things get absolutely slammed. So anybody calling these things safe haven assets, they're not safe haven assets. Safe haven assets are gold. Be ready for anything, ladies and gentlemen, because again, things are fine today. I'm sure the markets, with the news now that we've got with Canada agreeing to end the trade war and buckling and taking a knee to Trump, I'm sure the markets will have a very, very nice day tomorrow. But look, I believe markets are completely overvalued. I still do believe we're going to see trouble in these markets. And when we do, all this crypto stuff is going to get absolutely slammed. You want to gamble? Go ahead and gamble. I hope you're making money, but be diversified. Have something in case things come off the rails, because last night was another reminder when things begin to get chaotic in these markets, the cryptos absolutely fall apart. So make sure you have some metals. I need to do an unboxing of this. This came from SD Bullion. If you need a very reputable, great place to buy your gold and silver from, if you're on the fence, you want to buy a little bit, you don't know how to do it, go to my link down below, SD Bullion, or call them, and they will take very, very good care of you. I think it is more important now to own gold, to own silver. If you can't afford gold, get yourself some silver. But you got to ask yourself, why are we back to all-time highs with gold? What is going on? There's something out there. It's inflation. It's uncertainty. There's things behind the scenes going on. We got some really, really good news today. I like what's happening with this administration, but be ready for a curveball, ladies and gentlemen. Be ready for anything. Wall Street Journal, the dumbest trade war fallout begins. I was reading a little bit of this article, and whoever wrote this article is pretty dumb. Trump got exactly what he wanted. I don't even think he can believe how easy these countries folded already, Mexico and Canada. I don't think he can even believe how soft these leaders are. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no leverage whatsoever. He has all the leverage. And yet so many people doubt what this guy's doing. So many people don't want to feel a little bit of pain. So many people just don't want things to get corrected and fixed. And when you have to fix and correct the amount of damage, the debt, the deficits that have taken place over the years in this country, if you think this is all going to be fixed in a day, a week, a month, or a year, you're sadly mistaken. And if you think it's going to be fixed without feeling some pain, you're sadly mistaken. This right now, I don't even think Trump can believe how easy this is. But it's going to get more difficult as we go. There are going to be challenges fixing this economy, challenges with the debt. There's going to be pain. There's a price to pay, ladies and gentlemen, for the atrocities that have taken place. But at the end of the day, this is about making this country safer. It's making it less dependent on other countries, and it's about respect. We now need to be making these chips and pharmaceuticals and so many things right here in America. I think Trump has got the world's attention. I think countries are beginning to respect us a little bit more, but this is not over. There's going to be severe challenges. And if you think we're going to just fix all this with no pain, you're sadly mistaken. Prepare for pain. Prepare for the pain. Zelensky admits that half of U.S. aid to Ukraine is missing, receiving $75 billion out of the $177 billion. I don't know where all this money is. Well, he's not going to be getting any more money anytime soon, that is for sure. This administration has also cut him off. This war, I think, is going to be winding down. I believe that this administration will be talking with Putin soon. The money's over, and this means that people are going to have to talk, negotiations are going to have to take place, and agreements are going to have to be made. It's coming. And so I'm happy because I don't want to see people in Ukraine dying. I don't want to see Russians dying. I think that this war could have been avoided. I think that it's going to be a completely worthless war, again, that could have been avoided. And so many people on both sides lost their lives while we funded it, with our tax dollars. Thank God it's coming to an end. It cannot end soon enough. Pray for these countries, pray for Ukraine, pray for Russia. Let's get this war ended. Let's get the negotiations done. Let's bring back peace, and let's just let people live their lives. I'm going to leave it there today. Again, please comment down below on any of this. What do you think about these record trade wars that ended in record time? The fastest trade wars of all time, 2 of them are already over, literally within a day. And what do you think? Does America need to get a backbone? Do we need to be prepared for a fight? You know, whether it's cyber wars, whether it's trade wars, whether it's hot wars. It just seems to me people are just too soft in this country and not willing to feel the pain, but they're okay with what just transpired for 4 years. They're okay not being able to buy a house, not being able to buy a car. They're okay working 2 to 3 jobs. None of this is going to get resolved unless you feel some pain and we stand up to the countries that are taking advantage of us. We want our jobs back. We want respect back. We want an even playing field, and we want people here to make good wages, and we want to see more products here made in America. People say, like, I would rather pay a little bit more and buy it from America. Problem is, what does America make? There's not a lot of choices. We need choices. We need to bring manufacturing jobs back to America. People need to make a good wage, a livable wage that they can afford to buy a car, buy a house, and not be dependent on credit cards, not be dependent on other countries. Remember, 80–90% of our pharmaceuticals are coming from Asia. If they cut us off, we're in big trouble. They said that if we got into a heated war with China, we would be out of ammunition in 7 days. This is not good. We've used about 50% of our strategic petroleum reserves. We are not prepared to deal with serious problems, with a world war. We are not prepared. We're running a huge debt, huge deficits. We don't have the ammunitions here. We're falling behind with our technology. So we need a lot of things to get done here. Of course, our infrastructure is crumbling. Our planes are falling out of the skies. So we need to take care of business right here at home and really start building America back and stop worrying about what's happening 8,000 miles away in these other countries. God bless all of you. Thanks for tuning in today. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe. I'm out of here. Take care.